GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, Montreal. The Patrouille de France dazzled the sky this morning, and our city's youth are celebrating Morocco's 3-0 World Cup win. Waterhouse Avenue water repairs are still underway, so keep those taps tight. Traffic's moving, though a REM outage may cause delays. Over to you, Jeff.
The Montreal Comic-Con opens Friday, running 3 days with panels, artists, and vendors across the convention center, attracting fans from across the province.
Attendees can expect celebrity guests, cosplay contests, and indie game demos throughout Saturday and Sunday, with tickets available online and at the door.
The event includes a Saturday morning workshop on comic illustration at 9 a.m., free for badge holders, plus a midnight movie screening on Sunday.
Lots to get to, let's begin, and we'll dive into today's news together, keeping you informed and entertained right. Good morning, Montreal.
Patrouille de France is sweeping the skies over the island and the province this afternoon, staging synchronized maneuvers above downtown, the St. Lawrence Corridor, and the historic heart of Quebec City. The French Air Force demonstration team, known for its blue, white, and red tricolor jets, launched its routine from a base in southern France and entered Canadian airspace just before noon. The three-city flyover marks the United States' 250th anniversary of independence, a milestone the neighboring nation is celebrating with events across the country. Spectators in Montreal, Trois-Rivières, and Quebec City can watch the formation loop over the Bell Centre, the port of Trois-Rivières, and the Plains of Abraham. Officials say the display will continue through the evening, offering several passes for residents and visitors alike. Pilots also executed their signature coup de pied loop over the river, drawing applause from onlookers.
Fans swarmed the World Cup fan zone in Old Montreal last night as the Moroccan youth of Montreal threw a vibrant celebration after Morocco's 3-0 round of 16 triumph over Canada. The community gathered around portable screens, sharing music, food, and flag-filled streets while the final whistle confirmed the North African side's spot in the quarterfinals. Young organizers handed out complimentary mint tea and traditional pastries, turning the downtown square into a festive marketplace of cheers and chants in Arabic and French. Police reported a calm atmosphere, and nearby cafes reported a surge in customers ordering poutine alongside tagines. A local DJ spun a blend of hip-hop and traditional beats, keeping energy high. The event highlighted the city's multicultural spirit, showing how sport can bring together neighbors from Plateau to Myland for a shared moment of joy.
Équipe Jeunesse, a Montreal nonprofit serving vulnerable young people, warned Saturday that a growing cohort of teenagers who have just left the province's youth protection system are slipping into homelessness. The organization said the transition to adulthood under Quebec's youth protection statutes often leaves former clients without a safety net, and the shortage of affordable housing options is accelerating the problem. Officials from the agency cited recent case reviews, showing that more than half of those who age out within the past year are now sleeping on the streets or in precarious temporary shelters. The group urged municipal and provincial authorities to expand dedicated housing programs before the trend expands further. Équipe Jeunesse stressed that early intervention remains the most effective way to keep these young adults from falling through the cracks systematically.
Water conservation repairs along Waterhouse Avenue are now stretching beyond the original schedule, and city officials are urging residents to keep trimming their usage. The work, which began earlier this month, has reduced water pressure on several blocks, prompting the municipal water department to issue a renewed appeal for short showers, full loads in dishwashers, and turning off taps while brushing teeth. Engineers say the delay stems from unexpected pipe corrosion discovered during the replacement process, and the project is expected to run into the coming weeks. Officials stress that every liter saved eases the strain on the limited supply and helps avoid further service interruptions. Residents are asked to report any leaks and to follow the posted signage throughout the affected neighborhood. The city will provide updates as the repairs progress.
Hydro-Quebec announced yesterday it will propose a new surcharge aimed at the province's highest consumption households. Under the draft plan, residential customers who use more than 35,000 kilowatt-hours of electricity in a year, roughly the top 5% of users, would see their rates rise. The utility said the measure is part of a broader review of its residential rate structure, intended to align pricing with consumption patterns. Officials indicated the surcharge would apply only to the identified tier, and would not affect the majority of households. Hydro-Quebec, the electricity provider, said the surcharge is designed to encourage efficiency among residential consumers. The company noted that current tiered pricing already offers lower rates for modest usage, and the new tier would be highest on the scale. It added that revenue would support infrastructure upgrades and integration of renewable sources. Regulators' decision is expected later in the year.
Later, we'll discuss new fire risk restrictions in northern Quebec and what they mean for you, plus more local headlines. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're ready for more because we've got some big stories ahead. Now over to Jeff Laflamme for local news.
Authorities have tightened restrictions across Nord du Quebec after a surge in forest fire danger. The measures, announced yesterday, limit campfires, prohibit open flame grilling in remote camps, and suspend certain recreational trail use until conditions improve. Officials say the steps respond to an elevated risk that followed a series of wildfires that scorched several regions of the province in June. Residents and tourists in the north are being asked to adhere to the new rules, which also include mandatory reporting of any smoke sightings to local fire watch stations. The restrictions remain in effect while fire danger ratings stay high, and enforcement officers will patrol key access points. The aim is to prevent further spread that could threaten homes, wildlife corridors, and the seasonal tourism economy that many families rely on for summer outings today.
Hydro-Quebec rolled out a massive hiring push yesterday, announcing plans to bring on 35,000 workers for paid construction and related positions across the province. The utility says the recruitment drive aims to ease a growing labor shortage as it expands multiple infrastructure projects, many of remote sites that have struggled to find skilled crews. By adding a workforce of this size, Hydro-Quebec hopes to keep power upgrades and new lines on schedule, which could translate into more reliable service for households and businesses. The campaign targets a broad range of skill levels, from seasoned tradespeople to newcomers seeking on-the-job training. With thousands of jobs on the table, the initiative could provide a boost to local families looking for stable employment while supporting the province's energy expansion goals. Info sessions will be held next week. Applications open online today for interested residents.
The 16th edition of Comic-Con kicked off Friday and runs through Sunday, turning the downtown convention center into a three-day hub for sci-fi comic book and gaming fans. Organized by Jason Rockman, the festival hosts a roster of actors, writers, and game designers, giving attendees the chance to meet the creators behind their favorite franchises. Panels on Saturday explored upcoming film adaptations, while Thursday's cosplay contest drew dozens of elaborate costumes. Today, crowds continue to line up for autograph sessions and limited edition merchandise, with the gaming arena featuring live tournaments. Since its inception, the annual event has grown into a staple of the local pop culture calendar, offering a rare opportunity for enthusiasts to interact directly with industry talent. The schedule runs through Sunday, wrapping up with a closing ceremony on the final evening.
An unauthorized email sent from Rossmere High School on Friday, July 3rd, exposed personal details of dozens of parents. The bulk message, which was not approved by the school, listed names, phone numbers, and email addresses of families with children at the school. The incident has prompted the Montreal Area School Board to launch an internal review of its data handling practices. Officials said they are working to determine how the information was accessed and to prevent similar breaches in the future. Parents received the email late in the evening and expressed concern about the security of their private information. The board has pledged to improve safeguards and to communicate any corrective steps to families. The school confirmed the email was sent in error and that no further distribution has occurred as of now.
Intense thunderstorms and violent winds rolled through the northern suburbs Thursday night, snapping dozens of trees in a matter of minutes. The brief, roughly 5-minute fury left power lines down and streets blocked, prompting municipal crews to mobilize early Friday. Teams from the Public Works Department combed the affected neighborhoods, felling hazardous limbs and hauling debris to restore access. By Saturday morning, most main arteries were cleared, though a handful of side streets remained cordoned off pending further removal. Residents reported scattered damage to homes and vehicles, while a few motorists were temporarily stranded until the blockage was cleared. The rapid response underscores the city's capacity to address sudden weather-related hazards, but officials warned that future storms could produce similar disruptions in the densely treed north. More than a dozen crews worked around the clock, while utility workers inspected the down lines to ensure safety before power was fully restored.
Now let's get a look at your afternoon forecast with our meteorologist.
A powerful westerly jet fuels today's scorching highs, while a stagnant high pressure locks in clear skies. On this date, Montreal's all-time heat mark stands at 34.4 degrees, set during the 2018 heat wave that pushed the province into record territory. The cold record is 13.7 degrees, recorded in 2017 when an Arctic blast slipped southward unexpectedly. By contrast, the climatological average for July 5th hovers around 25 degrees, with typical highs near 27 and lows near 16. So today's 25 to 27 degree range sits comfortably between the historic extremes and the long-term norm. On the radar screen, the whole province is blank, no echoes of rain or snow in sight. A solid high-pressure dome sits over southern Canada, and the fast westerly jet at 500 meters keeps the air mass dry and stable. With the flow directed west to east, any moisture would be sheared out before reaching us. The next pulse of precipitation is not expected for at least 12 hours, leaving clear skies for the afternoon. At noon, the city basks in clear skies and a temperature of 25 degrees, feeling dry under a light northwest breeze of 5 kilometers per hour. The atmosphere is dominated by a high-pressure ridge that is holding steady, while the powerful westerly jet streams aloft act like a conveyor belt, reinforcing subsidence and keeping clouds at bay. Temperatures will climb to a high of 27 degrees by mid-afternoon, then ease slightly to 26 as the sun dips toward the horizon. UV Index 8 reflects strong solar intensity. Winds will remain modest, peaking at 11 kilometers per hour from the west, so no wind chill concerns. No weather alerts are in effect, so the day proceeds uninterrupted. Looking ahead, Monday brings a warm overcast day with a high of 29 degrees and a low of 16, the clouds a sign that the ridge is beginning to thicken. Tuesday clears dramatically, returning to a crisp 29-degree high and a mild 20-degree low under a still strong jet. Wednesday remains mostly sunny, nudging the high to 30 degrees while the low holds at 20. Thursday pushes the heat further, with a partly cloudy sky and a peak of 32 degrees, low climbing to 22 as the ridge peaks. Friday caps the week with a cooler 28-degree high, 21-degree low, and a chance of drizzle covering 35% of the area. The pattern stays zonal, so temperature swings are gradual. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, traffic updates on construction and REM delays, a look at today's Montreal Comic-Con kickoff, plus Habs off-season moves. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
The biggest story this morning is a network-wide REM shutdown. Service will be suspended from 5:30 a.m. until 12 noon across all lines as crews perform system-wide upgrades. Expect trains to be replaced by shuttle buses, with wait times of 10 to 15 minutes at major stations such as Central, Barrie, UQAM, and Mont Royal. On the road front, there are no active incidents, but 3 long-term closures continue to shape traffic. Barrie Street remains shut between St. Catherine and Ontario, forcing drivers onto St. Laurent and St. Denis. The Maisonneuve Boulevard is closed from St. Denis to St. Hubert, diverting traffic onto Rue St. Laurent and Rue St. Paul. Highway 10 eastbound exit 3 at Carrierick is permanently closed, so eastbound traffic must use exit 2 at Descaries. Aside from those detours, the rest of the network runs smoothly. Expect normal flow this afternoon, with the usual rush hour buildup on Autoroute Quinns and the Descaries corridor.
Cirque du Soleil's Echo exhibition is lighting up Time Out Market Montreal now, offering a behind-the-scenes photo journey that lets you step inside the world of the iconic troupe. The exhibition runs through the weekend, giving you plenty of time to explore its immersive visuals. If you're hungry for more, Les Premier's Vendredi Street Food Festival rolls through the city, gathering over 40 food trucks with live entertainment and free admission, perfect for a casual lunch break. For a taste of authentic Cantonese barbecue, Dobie and Andy have set up shop inside Time Out Market, bringing the beloved Chinatown institution's smoky flavors to a new crowd. Their signature roast pork and charred duck are favorites you won't want to miss. All 3 experiences are open today, so you can snap a photo, sample global bites, and savor a hearty plate without leaving downtown. Make the most of your lunch hour and discover why Montreal's cultural scene feels alive at every corner. And now here's Jason with sports.
Here's the latest on Montreal's teams as the summer season heats up. The Canadiens' front office highlighted how general manager Kent Hughes and agent Dan Milstein are steering the roster. Their partnership began with the 2022 Alexander Romanov trade and now includes fresh deals for forward Ivan Demidov and goaltender Jakub Dobeš, signaling an active off-season. Evelyn Badu delivered a hat trick as the Montreal Roses overwhelmed Vancouver Rise, posting a 5-1 triumph in the Northern Super League on Saturday. The dominant performance propels the Roses deeper into the competition and showcases Badou's scoring prowess. Montreal confirmed a 3-year extension for netminder Jakub Dobish, signed just 1 day after securing forward Ivan Demidov. The new deal covers the 2027-28 season through 2029-30, locking in a young goalie as part of the club's early off-season strategy.
Pastamore in Dollar des Ormeaux has been a staple of the community for more than 4 decades. Founded in 1981 by Mario and Maria Novidi, the family-run eatery built its reputation on hand-rolled pastas, rich sauces, and a warm, bustling dining room that felt like an extension of the Novidi home. The restaurant will close its doors on June 14th, marking the end of an era for the neighborhood. The family isn't disappearing, though. They're moving the kitchen online, selling their signature pasta and sauces so loyal fans can still taste the tradition at home. Pastamore has fed generations of locals, turning ordinary meals into shared memories. It's a reminder that the flavor of a neighborhood lives long after a sign comes down. Stay tuned for a look at Hydro-Quebec's bold drive to hire 35,000 workers, a bright boost for our economy.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From City Hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on GMNA for the local Sunset Montreal's evening newscast.
Montreal Comic-Con 2026 has opened at the Palais des Congrès, drawing thousands of fans for 3 days of celebrity panels, pop culture previews, and a national cosplay showdown that promises high-stakes competition and spectacular costumes. The energy is electric as creators and collectors mingle. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks CJ Waterhouse. I'm standing in the main atrium of the Palais des Congrès de Montreal, where a sea of color swirls between banner walls that shout Comic in 2026. The scent of fresh popcorn mixes with the hum of arcade machines, while dozens of cosplayers, some in armor, others in flawless costumes, line the marble steps, flashing smiles for the cameras. Fans crowd around a stage where Christopher Lloyd waves, Tom Welling leans into a microphone, and Ron Perlman nods at a cheering crowd. The cosplay championship kicks off in the East Hall, judges moving among rows of creations, each competitor hoping to claim the coveted trophy. Gaming zones pulse with neon light, and vendor stalls spill over with rare comics, indie board games, and limited edition figures. Tens of thousands of attendees weave through the convention, their excitement palpable in every high five and selfie. For many fans, this weekend is more than a convention. It's a chance to step into the worlds they grew up reading about. Carl Dumont, virtually at Palais des Congrès de Montreal.
On a Saturday morning in the Plateau, the scent of freshly ground beans drifted from the open doors of Café St. Louis, where regulars gathered around reclaimed wood tables. Barista Maya, her hands steady as she pulled a perfect espresso, smiled at the news flashing on her phone. 4 Montreal cafes had just been named among the world's 100 best coffee shops in North America. A few blocks away, the bustling vibe of Café Via Montreal echoed with the clink of ceramic mugs as owner Jacques raised a toast with his team, their chalkboard menu now bearing a gold-stamped seal. In Myland, the quiet hum of Café Lumière was punctuated by the delighted gasp of a visitor who spotted the list and recognized the familiar face behind the counter. Finally, on St. Laurent, the rooftop garden of Café du Parc burst into applause as patrons lifted their cups, watching the sunrise paint the skyline. The common thread was more than a badge. It was a shared pride that Montreal's coffee culture is alive, welcoming, and world-class. It reminds us that great coffee is a conversation starter, and today it sparked a celebration.
In the stretch of northern Quebec, near the town of Val d'Or, a line of fire break trucks snakes through the air. 900 firefighters, many in soot-stained jackets, have been dispatched to battle more than 200 active forest fires that have sprung up across the region this summer. On a ridge overlooking the blaze, a veteran crew member pauses to hand a mug of coffee to a rookie, the steam mingling with the faint plume of smoke, a small, steady reminder that the work is as much about human endurance as it is about flame. One vivid moment captured on camera shows a young girl from a nearby community waving a homemade flag emblazoned with a red heart. As the camera pans, the flag flutters over a cleared perimeter where a fire line has finally held, stopping the spread toward her village. The sight of that simple gesture, met with the sigh of relief from the crews, underscores why the mobilization matters. The coordinated effort, bolstered by crews arriving from other provinces, has already contained the majority of the hotspots, turning what could have been a season of loss into one of collective resilience.
Thank you, Montreal, for watching the lunch break. It was striking to see the Patrouille de France soar above our skyline today, Stay safe, stay curious, and join us again tomorrow for more of the stories that shape our city. Until then, I'm CJ Waterhouse.